Imagine this. After today's video, you will start noticing something you may have missed your entire life. The hidden questions people use to control you. In relationships, at work, even in everyday conversations. These questions sound innocent, but they carry the power to twist reality. Stay with me until the end, because I will show you 7 of the most common manipulative questions. By the final minutes, you will know how to spot them and how to protect yourself. Trust is fragile. It's not steel armor. It's more like glass, strong but easy to crack. Once broken, trust is 3 times harder to restore than to keep. Manipulators understand this well. They don't always lie openly. Instead, they plant doubts in your mind. And one of their favorite tools is the loaded question. Think of it this way. You are standing on a narrow bridge. One wrong step and you fall into the river. That's how these questions work. They push you off balance. Let's look at 7 of them, one by one. Question 1. Don't you trust me? At first, this sounds like a normal question, but in reality, it is an accusation in disguise. Instead of talking about their behavior, you are suddenly forced to defend yourself. It's like being in a courtroom. The prosecutor shows evidence, and instead of answering, the defendant says, "Well, are you perfect?" Now the judge feels guilty, and the truth is ignored. In daily life, it looks like this. A partner disappears for 2 days, and when asked, they reply, "So, you don't trust me?" Or a coworker misses a deadline and says, "Why do you assume it was me?" How to respond? It's not about trust in general. It's about this specific situation. I want clarity. Question 2. Why are you overreacting? This phrase dismisses your feelings. It makes you doubt yourself. The problem is no longer their action. The problem becomes your emotions. In relationships, you bring up something that hurts. The reply, "Why are you making a big deal out of nothing?" At work, you raise concerns. The reply, "Relax, you're overthinking it." How to respond? I'm not overreacting. I'm reacting to something that matters. Let's focus on the real issue. Question 3. Who told you that? This one is about control. It's not about the facts. It's about silencing the source. You bring up a concern. They shoot back, "Who told you that?" Now you feel pressured to reveal names, and the issue is forgotten. Examples. A partner caught lying says, "Who told you that?" A boss confronted at work asks, "Who gave you that information?" How to respond? The source doesn't matter. What matters is the truth. Question 4. Are you really sure about that? This one sounds like care, but its purpose is to plant doubt. For example, you decide to take a new job. Your partner says, "Are you sure that's a good idea? You might regret it." Or at work, you suggest a solution. A colleague replies, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" How to respond? Yes, I thought about it carefully. If you have specific concerns, let's discuss them. Otherwise, I'm confident in my choice. Question 5. Why do you always think the worst of me? This is emotional blackmail. It flips the roles. Suddenly, the issue is not their behavior, the issue is your doubt. In relationships, you confront lies. They reply, "Why do you always think the worst of me?" With friends, they don't return borrowed money. When asked, they say, "Do you really think I'd cheat you?" How to respond? I don't always think the worst. I just want clarity about this situation. Question 6. If you loved me, you wouldn't ask that. This is the most dangerous one. It weaponizes love. It says that wanting honesty means you don't love enough. For example, you ask about secret messages. The reply, "If you loved me, you wouldn't question me." Or you show discomfort. They say, "Real love means unconditional trust." How to respond? Love isn't about avoiding questions. Love is about building trust with honesty. Question 7. I'm just worried about you. Are you sure you know what you're doing? This hides behind care. It sounds protective, but it undermines your confidence. For example, you start a new project. A friend says, "I'm worried about you. Are you sure you can handle it?" Or a family member replies, "I care about you, but do you really know what you're doing?" How to respond? I appreciate your concern, but my decision is clear. If I need advice, I'll ask for it. These 7 questions may look innocent, but together they form a system of manipulation. They replace facts with emotions. They weaken your inner strength. The good news is, once you recognize them, you can't unsee them. It's like building a psychological immune system. One realization protects you for life. Practical steps. Write down important conversations. Notice repeated phrases. Respond calmly and return focus to facts. Remember this: your inner self deserves clarity, not someone else's script. These were the 7 manipulative questions. If you have ignored even one of them, it means you've already allowed someone else to steer your choices. So let me ask you, how many times have you heard these phrases? Write honestly in the comments. Share what you usually reply. And if you want more content to help you grow and improve your life, join us. Hit like, subscribe to this channel, and don't miss the next videos.